We next spotlight Xu Yucheng's speech to the women's world, which was published in a magazine created by a group of Chinese students studying in Tokyo in 1907. The China New Women's Magazine was shut down by the Japanese government after only its 6th issue, when it published a piece entitled, you ready for this? Women should promote revolution by means of assassination. At a time when many women's rights advocates described men as the oppressor, Xu Yucheng argued, in contrast, that men also did not experience true freedom if women were not equally free. Here to share Xu Yucheng's words is Jennifer Page. She believes in finding your voice and speaking your truth. She is known for being rational, sane, and asking good questions. Jennifer is on the board of directors of MotherWoman, where she helps to honor and support all mothers, and the Northampton Community Music Center, where she helps bring music to her community. As a mother, one of Jennifer's many goals is to teach her daughter to be empowered and resilient. Jennifer works at the University of Massachusetts Amherst and lives in Amherst with her husband and daughter. Please welcome to the podium, Jennifer Page, reading as Xu Yucheng.
What are the two phrases which I admire so very much? They are respect oneself and make oneself honorable, 自重自贵, and debase oneself and make oneself low, 自轻自贱. What is it to respect oneself? It is to be able to retain one's right to freedom. This right to freedom means that as long as one is a human and has knowledge, regardless of whether one is a man or a woman, one should be entitled to a share of the right to freedom. This right is sacred and inviolable. Being able to respect oneself, naturally one is an honorable person. What is it to debase oneself? It is to be unable to retain one's right to freedom. One is commanded and directed by others on every matter, and does not know to seek one's own rights. Hence, one's right to freedom is stolen by others, and therefore one is not able to respect oneself. The inability to respect oneself means to debase oneself. Be this as it may, the word freedom is really very difficult. Not only difficult to practice, but also difficult to explain. Why is this? You must understand that one can only be free when one has the qualifications for freedom. If one tries to forcibly obtain freedom despite not having the qualifications, this is called tyrannical freedom and savage freedom. A tyrannical and savagely free man still does not know freedom. What are these qualifications to freedom? Generally speaking, free people will be delighted to let others have the same freedom as they do and will not infringe upon others' freedom or obliterate others' freedom. When people can act thus, it is called true freedom. As for those with tyrannical and savage freedom, they only know to act as they please, but have no idea what is meant by freedom, nor what is meant by obliterating others' freedom. At this point, the question of whether we are free or not in China comes to mind. Who do you think are the freest people in our China? It is the men. Who are the least free people? Naturally, it is the women. Can the men in China really meet the definition of being free? No. Why not? Because they do not have the qualifications for freedom. They only know to act as they please and practice their tyrannical and savage freedom. They also do not realize that the right to freedom of we women has been violated and obliterated to the furthest extent by them. My sisters, you have to think about these things yourselves. Men have already violated and obliterated our right to freedom to this extent. How shall we acquire these qualifications for freedom? It is simply that we must seek learning. If one has learning, one can acquire the qualifications for freedom. If one enjoys the right to freedom, one can be called self-respected and self-esteemed. If we in the world of women are able to respect ourselves and honor ourselves, even if they in the world of men want to practice their arbitrary and savage freedom, they will not dare. Even if they want to obliterate our freedom, they will have no way to obliterate it. I have spoken quite a lot. I wonder what you think after hearing all of this. If the theory has some merits, then all my elder and younger sisters, 姐姐, 妹妹, every one of you has to make up your mind and try your utmost to seek knowledge. From then on, the words self-respect and self-esteem will naturally apply to you, while the words self-contempt and self-degradation will naturally fade away. The Analects of Confucius says, I seek humanness, and humanness is at hand. This means that as long as I want to do this, there is nothing that cannot be accomplished. 姐姐, 妹妹, you simply need to mindfully and vigorously do it at once. 谢谢。